Welcome back, everyone. In our previous adventure, our heroes had successfully planted a sun tree with the help of the secret paladin of Pelor Carl, and now they are bringing back the gods of light into Faerun after thousands of years of their absence. We find them facing a sphinx and a rapidly growing sun tree as we invite you to join us on our quest to become nerds of legends. I
By the
didn't
way,
introduce you guys. I apologize.
I was say that's
It's been a
Joel.
long day.
I'm Ben. That's Brian. Tick Joe,
Yeah, it's
DM,
been a long day.
Edward.
So someone's out of sorts. You got the recap. If you don't know the characters' names by now, we got a whole bunch of episodes on YouTube. Go check them out.
Yeah.
Leave comments. All is welcome.
Yeah.
So you guys find yourself watching Carl in kind of this rapturous state. He's staring at the tree as it's growing in the presence of like the oversized eagle of Pelor. And as it's growing, you see the eagle just like grow and wrap itself around Carl, and both just in a flash of like golden light disappear.
Oh.
And the Sphinx
Hmm.
looks at you and rolls her shoulders, looks at you, and she goes, I believe we're done here. And then she looks very seriously at Ticto. Don't touch anything.
But,
And then she herself disappears in a similar flash.
but I want to touch it.
Roll for deception. You know you do. You
I
know
said,
those parts.
but I want to touch it.
Oh, I thought you said I don't want to touch it. I was like, yes, you do.
No, I was saying, but I want to touch it.
Right.
Okay.
Tick,
Anyway,
so are you still feeling ill around this place?
I can't get it move any closer. I know. It definitely is not doing well for my guts. But not feeling too great. But I think if I just move back a little bit up, yep, that's better.
My
Yeah,
thought is that
as you move further back, you notice you feel like your energies, kind of like you have more control of the energies around you.
Yeah,
Um,
I like put up like a firebolt in my hand. I'm like, oh, thank God, it's back.
yeah.
my
Um,
thought is that if this is going to take a while, perhaps you and I should touch base with Bob.
You know, it's not a bad idea. I think he'd be very interested to know that this just happened.
yeah.
So how do we do that? We're out in the middle of freaking nowhere. Oh wait, is there any like flat vertical surfaces anywhere that anyone can see? Or maybe perhaps a
Um,
large stone on the ground.
Most of the stones are covered in the celestial rune work
If I
on
like
that
move
little land
away.
bridge. Um, However, there's like some pavers on the ground,
Okay.
like that kind of thing.
Can I draw like a trap door
Um,
with some chalk?
I absolutely love this. Yes. Let
Edward.
me get a I don't even know what that would be for like a check for to
Maybe like
draw.
Arcana. That's kind of what I'm like envisioning as
No,
I'm
no,
trying to.
this is legitimately just artistry.
Okay.
Like
Oh,
do
to see
dexterity.
how good of a door I can draw
Yeah,
performance
because
I would assume dexterity.
or
yeah,
dexterity.
I'm gonna assume a dexterity check. So
Just flat
I'm so happy
dex
with this
check.
idea.
All right. That's a 9. It looks very cartoony.
Um, okay, yeah, you draw a door. No lines are straight. They're all a little wibble. They're all a little like wobbly. It looks kind of like you know, like one of those pictures that like a first or second grader brings you. It's like, guess what it is? You're like, I got nothing. The square.
Hmm.
Um,
I was thinking I had a gnome thing that would help me with crafting, but I don't. Um, okay. Well, Edward, are your artistic abilities any better?
We can always see.
All right, let's try this again, and I wipe the big stone clean.
let's try this again.
And I'm gonna get out like a straight edge. I'm gonna get out like protractors.
Oh, so you're in it now, huh?
Yeah, I'm like this. I feel like this is gonna work.
Okay.
With him assisting me, do I have advantage?
Are you using the protractors?
Sure. I'll
Okay, you
take
can have
whatever he has.
you can add a D8 to this as well for additional for the just pure mathematics.
Okay.
So you can have advantage and a D8 for bringing mathematics tools, geometric implements.
Oh dang!
Okay, so that's a 16 plus a 6. So plus my dexterity bonus.
Shit looks like a fucking architect's wet dream.
Yeah.
So that's 25.
Okay, so not only do you manage to add that, but you're in there putting in like little decorative filigree around it, and like you're like, you know, what really make this door pop if I put some like symbols in both Elvish and Sylvan, you know, to remind you of the door. You remember the story of going to this elven village as a kid in the woods called Lothlorien, and you're like, I remember what they did. You got all these like rune work on it. It's beautiful. It's
So
beautiful.
first I go ahead and I spend like a minute to like draw the square, but then I take like 10 pages to define the square. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah, it is. You are you are like to the point where
Ticto's just like,
yeah, Ticto is both.
well, I feel a bit invalidated.
Yeah.
Where have you been hiding this up your sleeve?
By this whole process.
So what I do is I just go ahead and I like do that, and then I look at him and I go, I don't know if it's that much better. Should we just
No. Edward,
Awesome.
the doorknob.
Oh, right. And I hand him the doorknob.
I'm gonna like put it in the thing, and I'm gonna turn it, and then I'm gonna lift it.
Alright. It doesn't move in the very beginning. Like as soon as you stick it in, like you just lay it on the top, and in your impatience, you're like, you think something's missing. Like you can't touch it to the doorknob. Like it doesn't turn the door into it. It needs. So
I cast minor illusion on it to make it even look like it's a trapdoor.
Okay. And then you try it again?
Yeah. And then I really like kind of push it into the stone a little bit.
Okay, strength check.
That's not my strong suit. 10.
Okay, so you give it a little bit of a push to where like there's a hard connect of the doorknob, right?
Yeah.
Like so you're really like
kind of like
yeah. Okay. Once you look and there's like little furrows in the sand, like little scratches, to where like the doorknob gets a little bit of bite in the material. And when you lift it up, like right there is a weird
it's like hole in reality.
Yeah, it's like it opens up, but it's like you could tell on the other side, like it's like half a door.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Please tell me it's in the ceiling.
no, it's
Damn it.
actually it's strange because it's you are now looking at a door on the ground that opens up to a level floor. Like the door's here, and it's opening up on so it's a perpendicular
Okay, so
or
it's like
90
on the
slant.
floor, like.
Yeah, but you just like it's only half of the door, like because you didn't draw a full size
Nope.
trap door with the size of a standard door. You drew a trap door that would fit you and a very slimly built elf, half elf. So like it's right there. This half like this. So you're like it's a little disconcerting, you know.
I like prop my elbows on the side of the thing, and I'm like, "Hey, Bob."
Um, he doesn't really like Bob. Kind of looks. He looks over at you and he goes,
All right.
"Come on, like."
I like. It's like this is gonna be weird, Edward, and I just like kind of like jump through the door, like.
Okay, I would like an acrobatics check.
Nat 20.
Okay. You jump through the door and like take your little hand as you get there, like catch the lip of the door and do this like pretty impressive little like spring and like land on your feet like superhero pose, you know? You got one hand on the ground, the other one's like, ha ha. You're like, Picto's arrived. And Bob's like, very nice. Yeah, very nice. That was impressive. And you look back and you see a normal door with like blackness on top of it, with like the archway over the top, and then like right about knob height for that one, it disappears. So it's like you came through the door you expected to. You
Huh.
only just grew halfway.
I was kind of hoping that it would be like if I'd made a trap door, it'd show up in the ceiling, and I could drop in on you.
That's what Bob actually does. Right. He points to the ceiling and how it's now because of the like extra dimensional space. He points up and the ceiling's like 20 feet up. He's like, probably not your best idea.
I've got Featherfall.
You know what? You do whatever makes you happy.
we
All right, Edward, what are we doing?
Uh, I'm gonna cast guidance on myself and then follow through.
Okay. All right. Are you doing anything acrobatically, or are you just gonna carefully climb through?
Just carefully climb through.
All right. Then if you're not trying to do anything too flashy, you could just
Okay, good.
climb through the door.
just because
Yeah.
I was being a smartass.
So then you look back and you see like Edward like grab the sides of the trap door and like put his feet on the edge of the floor, like lower himself in, also with a look of exasperation, like and Bob's like, so where's Fodor?
Um, he ate very old sandwiches.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. Like that surprises me not at all.
Yeah.
That
So
that
I gave him the potion that you left in the kit.
the potion of bismuth. It's good for your guts.
Yeah. But I didn't
Yeah.
give it to him. I just put it next to his pillow because I figured he needed to learn his lesson.
So we're like equal chance that it's either sitting there still, or maybe he's like sleeping it off.
Yep.
No, I made very much sure that he took the potion in the morning. When I saw that he had not drinking it beforehand, I recommended to him when he was still feeling bad in the morning to drink it, and that we would get back in touch with him when we were ready.
Okay, I mean that makes good sense, but
We have different approaches to co-parenting a barbarian.
yeah, he's a weird one. He's like, yeah, he's not dumb, you know. But what is the word for not dumb but still dumb?
I
Right.
believe it is
Barbarian. That's what we'll just
yes,
call it, barbarian.
he has uh you know, street smarts. I guess
He has a
say.
unique set of skills.
Yes, there we go.
All right.
Skills that he's acquired over a lifetime. Skills that make him a very dangerous
So
person.
anyway, updates.
I'm saying he has a very specific set of skills.
Yeah.
You know, I feel we're what is the word? We're bordering on copyright infringement, I believe.
So,
anyway, what brings back?
So we had a little downtime because we found a cult of Pelor, and we just helped their chief.
Hold on. Back, like a full cult?
I think so.
Like how many people were in this?
At least 2.
I mean that doesn't feel quite like a cult. I mean it's good.
I mean
it's good.
it was a high priest and paladin working at that city you sent us to. Like basically the leader.
I was unaware.
Yes. Well, so we met Carl.
I mean, secretly, truly, I was actually unaware. It just was really fortuitous.
Yes. So we met Carl the paladin, and we went out and we found a.
What kind of name is Carl?
I don't know. I didn't question it.
That his real name?
That's apparently. I mean, I didn't question it. He was a dragonborn. Is that like a cultural thing? Okay. Now Max, a little bit, okay?
No, I'm just shocked. Like normally their names are like Ravenok and stuff like that. Like it's phonetically very difficult to pronounce.
What? 2 pictures?
Yep. Okay, go Max.
He watches change shape a little bit.
Yeah.
He looked more humanoid.
Yeah. Yeah, his name was Carl, apparently, but we went with him out to this place, and we weren't really sure what he was wanting. He just told us, and then we sort of like danced around the subject of who we were and why we were there and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden he was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm with Pelor," because we, it kind of
just like that, just flopped it on out there.
Well, apparently because we were doing things that you're not actually like asking for any kind of payment in return. So Edward did some healing and didn't ask for anyone to give him money for it, and so I guess it kind of freaked people out.
I would assume that. So what I'm understanding is you very, very much disrupted the healthcare system of Faerun.
Seems like
by
it.
Offering affordable healthcare.
I gave them something even worse than a bill.
Not paperwork. You didn't give them paperwork.
He did.
You are one evil son of a bitch.
He gave them triplicate.
My God.
Yeah, so we went there.
So I wouldn't say that it's entirely off balance.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know if I can work with you guys anymore. I mean, there's evil, and then there's bureaucratic evil.
Hey.
I'm joking. I get it. Yes.
So,
but you didn't ask for actually like coin in return.
Correct.
So I see why you would draw some attention, but sounds like this is moving in a direction we like.
Yeah. So we went to this island, and there was a Sphinx guarding it, and there was celestial stuff everywhere, and it was like giving me a headache because apparently arcane magic is a no-no in divine areas. It gave me a tummy ache.
Well, I mean, like, if you're trying to isolate the form of magical energies, usually you put up a ward, you know.
That's probably what it was. Not my specialty.
No, not probably. By the little bit of information you gave me, I could say with 100% certainty.
Again?
It was a focal point for Celestial. That's weird, because, like, they must have been working at that a long time.
It seemed like it. They made it sound like they'd been working towards this for centuries, if not millennia.
I mean, that would make sense.
So anyway, he took this
You know,
seed.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, a part of me feels a fair amount of guilt, like that I let this get this bad, especially considering I did it to keep my ship.
Yeah. So
But, you know,
they took then the paladin took this seed thing and then he shoved it in the ground and then a big shiny tree came out of it.
like a full size tree, or like it grew a little bit,
Like growing really, really fast. And then a golden eagle showed up and
hold on. He sits down for a minute, and he gets real serious. He's like, "Are you telling me that they were able to plant a sun tree?"
Yep. That is what he called it. And then
he like
and then a golden eagle showed up and spirited him away.
He's like, "Give me a minute." He snaps his fingers, and you know, one of the unseen service brings over this like very, very thick scroll. And I mean, like it's some serious. It's not like it's like a scroll that's on like leather work, and you can feel like the energies that are part of this scroll. And it's old. It's very old. And he opens it up, and it's like a silhouette, a black silhouette of the land. It's got a couple like greenish areas, you know, that are for like heavily forested regions, and a couple like light bluish areas for like in like the water area. But predominantly the whole thing's black, except for right where you left is one little pinprick of golden energy. And
that's where that island was.
Yeah. That's this is a fluence map. Like it shows where magical influence or divine influence or whatever, like heavy juice is stored in this area. So predominantly this whole thing has got, you know, like the energy of the hells through it. So it's black because that's dark. You know, the little greenish areas, that's where, you know, that's like high magical forests, you know, like that Lothlorien you was talking about. That's super magical. And none of you are surprised that he's like knew about this. He's like, I saw you drawing. And he goes, and you're bluish. He goes, that's where the, you know, like that's where like Oriel, the Frost Maiden lives, you know, like Icewind Dale, that kind of shit. I mean, like you can really see where the juice is, but you look at the whole place, it's overwhelmingly dark, except for right fucking there. He's like, that's the sun tree. That's Pelor, and I haven't seen a spot there in probably 3,500 years.
Okay.
Now I know we were looking at chains, and I still think you need to look at them. You need to collect the scrolls, figure out where the hell you're going, but we need to make that dot bigger.
Yeah, so that was part of the deal, was we get to go see the chain too. So
yeah, I mean, like I think this is the one that's like the Iron Citadel, right? Like
right.
That's
yes.
Right. And that's at the top of the mountain, like that. Like, did they give you any words about it?
They told us that was part of the deal, was that they would get us up the mountain if we helped them with this task.
Yeah, last I checked, it was guarded by a human garrison. But things have changed.
I believe they said something along the lines of that people that go up there don't tend to come back.
See, I mean, like.
I mean that, but that's also that's like everything.
Yeah, like everything is. Oh, don't go in that cave. People don't come back out. Don't go to the bathroom. People don't come back out. Yeah. Like, are they being serious, or are they just like stop looking at my stuff? And get out of my
did seem very surprised that we were interested in going up there.
You know, I still don't understand that. Like, I got a chain back in my kingdom, and I look at that thing all the time because it's like,
yeah,
it's just weird. Like, it's a giant chain going up in the air and then nothing. Like, you don't stop and look at it. I mean, it's like if you had a giant hole in the ground, let's say a Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
I bet people would look at it forever. You
Do
know
you
what I
think
mean?
there's
Like a
some
giant-
enchantment about it that makes people uninterested?
I don't know now. Now everybody's got like magical scrolls they watch all day long. They just
Yeah.
don't enjoy the nature anymore.
It could be. Yeah, there are
Yeah.
those. I still like
Serious question. Obviously we're not from around here, and I can kind of get the gist of things from context clues. But who is Paylor?
Um.
Oh, because
Yeah.
would I know
Snap
from my would I know from my library studying the night before, or probably not? That wouldn't be in there, right?
That's more like, have you actually looked at into the gods, like,
Mm-hmm.
and that would be more your choice. As would you think Ticto would have worried about any of that shit?
Well,
Like in
from in
the
Eberron, no,
study,
right? Because there's no
right?
the pantheon doesn't exist in Eberron, really, does it?
No, it really doesn't.
Okay, so no,
So,
I wouldn't know. Never mind.
yeah, I mean, like, I'm all right with you doing it, but it's like you would have to have
Nope,
come into it. You just recently learned of
I didn't know what
the
information I got in that library. So,
well, no, it's you were focused in the library that you might have been able to get something, but for the
Mhm.
most part, you were looking at new spells and stuff. You weren't.
yeah.
So, he's like, he snaps his fingers, and another thing comes over, and you've seen this map before. It was another of the wheel, but this was old, you know. And he's like, he points it out. He's like, okay. He's like, here's the universe, like that we know of, the multiverse. He's like, here is the prime material plane. And you notice there's little things that fall into the material plane. You know, you've got like Eberron, and you've got like Abil Taril, you know, with Faerun right in the middle, and then you've got you know, like outside is the Fae. He's like, this is where we're at. He's like, and the little pieces that make it up. He's like, that's where you live. Predominantly the mortals live. And he's like, and everything else is fighting over control of this. And then he goes to the bottom where it shows, you know, like the hells and the abyss. He's like, now these are two kinds. He's like, this is what is evil. Okay. He goes, the hells, that's what controls all of this. Like the prime material place, like the hells control all of this. He's like, due to an imbalance we had many thousands of years ago when I was working with that other group who was way more ambitious than I thought. But what happened is, so now they're normally kept in check by up here, and he shows you the wheel where you've got like the celestial sides, you know, and he's like, you've been there. He's like, but the problem is they're pretty much nothing. I mean, they're still existing, but gods exist on faith. And there hasn't been a whole lot of faith since at birth you're signed over to Asmodeus. And so faith without a soul doesn't mean nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like, and he points out to the whole thing, and he's like, and this whole thing is kept together by that sigil place. He goes, you've been there too. He's like, that's what keeps the whole wheel locked in and keeps it from breaking apart.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what you're doing is the scales are tipped to evil and have been for getting more and more so for the last 4,000 years. He's like, what you're starting to do is add weight to the good side, and your goal is to balance it. He's like, and right now, for the first time, the scale's starting to tip. Pelor is like one of the chief gods good. His symbol is the sun and the eagle.
That much I got. I got that it is probably some sort of good deity, but like,
Oh
what
no, he's like the
is?
best.
Oh, okay,
Like,
but like, what
he's
is
like,
Paylor?
he's a good god. Like, he's not. He's still just a god. He's not like fundamental force or primordial, but like he's like a god. Like he was one of the ones that were like instrumental in creating the chains.
Pretty
I
much.
guess.
I can assume
What?
he essentially led the celestial plane, from what I can tell.
More or less, they don't really have like a you're the boss, I follow you type thing. Just more like powers and
I
spheres of
think from
influence.
what we saw, it's like he's like a light guy. He likes
Yeah.
light.
Well, yeah,
Again,
his son. Yeah, of course he's light. That makes the most sense.
that much all I got through context. What I'm asking is like, what is his doctrine? I don't want to have to go back to our new friend Carl and then offend him through something that we didn't know about. Like, is there anything regarding Palor or what he is that
You mean like is he order or chaos or like how he is?
Well, I mean, like, what is his doctrine?
Like,
What
what's
is
his
like
creed?
what is
Maybe
What?
creed.
It's a weird question.
From what I understand,
Like
paladins follow a certain order. They follow a certain set of guidelines that are dictated generally by their faith. So if there is some sort of like thing regarding Pelor and his lore that we need to know about so that we do not offend our new friend.
Like, what's the oath that they normally take? Maybe. I don't think you're gonna get that info from him, Edward.
I mean, like, okay,
Is it because you don't know, or
it's been a long time, but I would like last I understood. Think of as like you know how Asmodeus is rules and don't get caught, right? Like that's how it is on Faerun. Is they don't care what happens as long as you don't get caught. Think of Pelor as the exact opposite. Like you follow the rules, you do what's right, even when nobody's looking. Like I guess he's more like honesty and like servitude, protection, that kind of stuff. Like a paladin a Pelor would sacrifice himself to save anybody else. Like that's what's more protection and loyalty, those kind of things. I mean, as far as like a specific creed, like what drives him, I don't know. There's not really one other than it. There's not really like some back in the day when they have the same runes like back when they did it. They have
what about like religious taboos? Is there anything that you can tell us there?
oh, like don't eat meat on Friday, that kind of stuff. No, they don't have any of that stuff.
Just basically, pretty much sounds like just be a good guy. Don't be a dick.
Like he doesn't really have a whole lot of different. Like he's not. It's not like. I don't know. It's been a long, long time.
The only reason why I'm asking is that where we come from, good and evil are kind of subjective. So I don't want to have to do anything.
I guess it's more as long as good prevails. It's kind of like his underlying everything. Serve the greater good.
But like, what is good?
You know, like where you went and you healed the people because it needed to be happening? That kind of thing is good. It's like you have the choice of going into a building via opening the door because it's the right way to go, burning down the house. To get, I mean, both of them will get to decide, but I mean, it's not that big of a. I know you're asking a lot of questions that are more like some ambiguous morality. Like he does what is right based on who feels what is right.
I think I understand. It's just that where
like,
we come from, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Like, for example, where we come from, if I provided healing to someone and then that person who was still in a desperate situation is now feeling better and has more energy and then went out and committed, say, for example, a crime where they stabbed someone, would it have been better if I had never healed them, because then it would be where they wouldn't have had that a boost of energy or that feeling of health, and then they
I mean, now you're talking now you're talking like predictive consequences. Like that's like you don't really get that choice. It's more like was it
yes.
right to heal him at the time? Like your interaction does not make you responsible for the person's
I've heard of these people
future
that
choices. Like they don't become like your slaves. If it was right to heal them at the time and then they went off and did evil, like does that make you responsible? No, that's weird.
I've heard
It's
of these people that discuss these things at the library. Them philosophes.
I hate philosophy.
Yes.
I'm just new to
They
the
talk
whole
in
system of
circles.
like. I'm just new to the whole system of elemental good and elemental evil. So.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean that's a good way to say it. Like probably ask yourself, is it the right thing to do at the time? Like, why did you heal those people? Did you do it because it was good? Or did you do it because it was the right thing to do? Or did you do it so you could hurry the fuck up and get to where you needed to go? So
I
there's
mean,
different.
I think I can answer that for Edward. He definitely did it because of the last one. But that
Okay,
was
well-
not what
Actually-
the perception was.
So
I was
that,
kind of more doing it for neutrality, I suppose, keeping a
well,
status
that's what I'm
quo.
trying to say is like there's good where you do it because it's supposed to be done, and then there's evil where you do it on how it will benefit you, and then there's neutral that's neither selfless or selfish. I mean, like think of it in this way: is elemental evil, as you said, is all selfish. How does it benefit me? How will it benefit me? You don't give a damn how it affects anybody else except for you. Uh, Elemental good is the other way. You don't care how it affects you. It only how it will affect those around you. And then
Okay,
there
I
is
think I
no
understand what you're
elemental
saying.
neutrality. That's just the things that kind of exist in the middle.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I think I get it now. It's more like a grid of like alignments where
yeah,
like you've got
I would have
good
to
and you've got
say if I had to
neutral
pick
and
the
evil.
number of, I would have to pick. If you made it into a grid, I'd say I don't know 9 space little categories it would fit in.
All right, then I guess I suppose I would be more like right in the center, true neutral, if you will.
Yeah, that you know what that probably makes sense. He goes, okay, so he draws the grid out, and he's like putting in, like each area, and he's like, and over there, Tikto, you're getting, they're deep in this, and you are bored to death.
No, I was about to say I was like I think I'm right here, and I was like I like it when people are happy, but I also like fucking shit up.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah. So this will fall more on the chaotic good, I would
Yeah.
say, like not evil. And then he's like, and then like deep into this, like you guys have filled out 4 or 5 of the grids.
I'm gonna start playing with that
what the
like
fuck are we talking
clock
about? Hold on,
face. I'm gonna start playing with that clock face that I found the other
yeah.
day.
So
Hey
he's
Bob.
like, okay. Anyway,
Bob.
we're getting deep into
Bob.
this shit right now. What?
Bob?
What? Yeah. I just said what?
So I have this thing that I found the other day. It almost looks like it goes with the bracelet you gave me. Could you tell me anything about it? I'm gonna hand it over.
All right. I, as the GM, am gonna need more explanation than I have this thing.
You gave me the. Ah, shit! I had it in my notes. There's the clock face thing that I found that I could like feel time magics like leaking off of or whatever, and then there was there another piece that you gave me?
Dude, I don't think you understand how deep the notes I have go. I think you just have the 2 right
Yeah.
now, right?
Yeah, Fodor
You
has
have
3.
Yeah, Fodor has 3, and Edward, you have 2, right?
I have a weird dagger and I have a magic.
Oh no,
belt.
we're talking of your specific items. You have that.
Oh,
the living
yes,
wand that grows into a staff, and that glass that you can set in the top.
that is correct.
And you've already set yours in there. So he looks at yours, and he looks at the broken watch face, and he's like, I can work with this. He's like, yeah, these two, I think they can be made to work together. Um, he's like, where did you get this?
There's some bug dude had it in the Mournlands, I believe. Is that where I found it?
Ugh. Yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Is that
I
where I
don't
found
know.
it, Joel? I can't remember.
Huh? Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it from that guy. He's like, it's empty. Like it's like a you know what a reliquary is? Like it stores energy.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can make it work, but I'm gonna need you to put as much time juice as you can into it
All right.
as I'm weaving it together.
Okay.
Um.
I've got full spell slots today right now, baby.
Yeah.
So TikTok's like,
what do you? He's like, since it's a clock, like you're gonna stick it with time magic. So what I'm gonna need is you to cast your most powerful spell on it. And then he's gonna blend it in with the bracelet. So he starts doing a little bit of magic, and the bracelet like unwinds because it was that woven fabric he gave you, and it starts like the little tendrils from the bracelet that were the woven bands start weaving into the clock face.
mm-hmm.
And completing the parts that were incomplete. And he's like, my part's done. You, he's like, I need you to put your most powerful spell of whatever kind you want in it.
So, the only 4th level spell I have is Dimension Door right now.
It needs to be a chronology, a chrono
so
magic.
I have Haste. Does that count?
Is that a chrono magic?
Transmutation. There isn't like a chronomancy.
There's no chronomancy whatsoever.
No, there isn't a school of magic for chronomancy.
Above the table, there's no specific Well,
no, this is, you said, like, you have chronomancy. You have to pick something that you think is time magic.
Well, I would say in my mind, haste would count, and that would be the closest thing I would think.
Okay.
I mean, technically speaking, also, I guess you could make an argument for Dimension Door.
Yeah,
but,
I was gonna say
you'd really
too.
have to.
I'd have to really
Yeah, get creative.
Yeah. So I'd say my closest one is Dimension Door.
This is only for roleplay. I don't give a damn how you design it. You just have to pump one into it.
Yeah. Oh, I only have to pump one in?
No, you have to your maximum level.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can't cast haste at a higher level, but I mean, let's just say I cast haste at a 4th level. I'll burn my 4th level spell slot on it.
All right. So you do. You push as much juice as you can into it, and he looks at you and he goes, "It was an interesting choice." But the clock, like it starts ticking. Okay. It starts ticking, and you now have a very intricate watch with like one hand. It's got 4 hands. You know, it's got the hour, minute, second hand, and then it's got this one that's just like flying around. He's like, yeah, so I don't know what that is. But it's pretty neat. He holds it to you, and it's like buzzing with chrono energy, with like your time magic. He's like, I would suggest you that this is becoming a very personal thing. I think you should probably, name it. You should probably give this thing a name. Put it back on, so that you don't get a headache. It's starting to happen.
Yeah. So I put the. Oh man. I mean, I don't know what the function is, so.
What?
Of the item, so I don't know what to really call it.
Well, it keeps you aware of the time, whatever time you're in,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can manage to understand the that's what the band does. Keeps you present.
Right. But what is
flipping
the
side screen.
what does the addition of the watch face do?
I don't know. You haven't used it.
Oh.
All you know is the thing is like just whipping around. You got a fourth hand that's like spinning around.
All right. Is it like encased in like a watch face, or can I like touch the
Give
spinning
me an
hand?
investigation check. Like really look
Okay.
at it.
All right.
You can give yourself advantage because you're pretty familiar with watches at this point.
Yeah. All right. 18.
There is a button on the other side that you don't see on another watch. Like you see the dial, like the little like twist dial, but then on the far side there's a button. Do you touch it?
I'm gonna touch it.
Everything around you stops but you.
Even Bob.
Everything around you stops.
Even
I
Bob.
mean, things stop midair. Everything stops. And the watch, the hand that's zooming around, slows down to just a regular.
Oh. So even Bob stopped?
Yeah. And you sit there. How long do you stand there?
Like 30 seconds.
Okay. And then you start moving around, or what do you do?
I'm just like, and then I move
once
over.
Once it rolls back to another 30 seconds,
Uh-huh.
everything starts moving again.
Aw. That was the most amazing thing ever.
What happened?
I hit this button, and then everything stopped except me for 30 seconds.
It was a minute.
Oh, it was a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like for a minute.
That I'm not gonna lie, is pretty great.
Did you see anything, Bob?
I saw you, and then you were over there. Like, yeah, just you moved apparently.
Tic-Toe's like, but I can. Oh. I'm gonna hit the button again. See if it works.
It doesn't do anything.
Oh. Okay.
Actually, the hand is stuck.
Oh.
Now. You could do that once a day.
Okay. Do I have to eat up a spell slot?
Nope.
Okay. Whoa.
Give me an Arcana check of it.
Okay. That is a 22.
Okay. You suspect that the spell gets stronger the higher the level, like you put in it.
Okay. So I can in the future I can load up like a higher level spell into it, like if I've got
or a different type of spell, but it only holds one.
Okay.
And it's absolute on you only.
Okay. So could I could add a different school of magic into it? Or just time?
Just time, man.
Okay. Cool. Gotcha.
Oh, yep. It'll increase by 1 minute per level.
Okay.
And with combat, it becomes 1 round. So you're not going to be able to freeze and suddenly have 10 rounds of combat. That's ridiculous. I mean, maybe later you can, but not right now.
Okay.
You'll just get 1 free action in combat.
Nice.
Because I'm not going to give you 10 free actions every day.
I mean,
No. There's no arguing that one around. I don't.
I wasn't arguing it at all. I was gonna say time stop. It's as soon as you interface with something, as soon as you deal with something other than yourself, then time resumes. But
I don't know. You remember Descent to Avernus? That guy just totally like ditched on all of you guys.
no.
And took you to Avernus and was like, everybody could get fucked, and then just left you there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there we are.
So,
He's like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
so sorry for interrupting. You guys can go back to your philosophy talk. I'm gonna mess with this. And I'm just like Tic-To's just like over in the corner, just like fiddling.
That's awesome.
Bob, I won't waste your time. I just have a few items I need identified.
Okay.
I have this weird dagger. I have a moving chain. And I have a magic belt.
Oh shit.
Did you kill like a chain devil?
Yes.
Well, that's a chain devil chain. It moves wherever you tell it, I guess. I mean, you have to like attune to it, but I mean that's it. There's nothing really spectacular about it.
How much can it carry?
Huh?
How much can it carry?
These are kind of interesting. Like, however much you want. So what it is the devil can take it. The chain works off your strength. So whatever modifiers you have, you can put on the chain. Okay. So anything that'll make you stronger will make the chain stronger. So let's say for now, it can hold like, let's say 200 pounds of weight. So like if you're gonna use it to climb up, and yeah, roughly about that. It'll get stronger as you use it more. And it's not the chain that can't hold it, it's the hook at the end of it. The hook at the end of it can only hold this much before it starts becoming a little bit questionable.
So what's up with the
300
weird
pounds.
dagger?
Huh?
So what's up with the weird dagger then?
He looks at it and it's the black blade dagger. He looks at it and he like mumbles some incantations and he sets it on the table where like you haven't noticed before on the table there's a whole bunch of runes in like dozens of languages and he puts it there and like he gets like this other readout on the other side. It like pops up and he's like, oh, that's weird. And so Tic-To's over there like completely enraptured in what's going on. And so he looks and he like flicks his finger and a little ball of light goes on one side of Tic-To and projects this massive shadow in front of him, all the way back to the table. And he takes the dagger and he looks at the shadow and he pokes it. And he pokes it twice. And Tic-To's like, ow! Twice. He's like, ha 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 ha. He's like, you can attack stuff shadow with this. He's like, nothing special, but you can like attack the shadows.
Interesting.
What's up with this? I mean, it's cool.
What's up with this magic belt then?
And he looks at, he puts in the same thing. And you put it on, and he looks at it and he's like, he puts it on, and when he puts it on, he like grows like 7 feet to like 7 feet tall. Horns pop out of his head. He gets some wings. And chains start swimming around him. And then he's like, you hear his voice in a chain devil's face. And he's like, I mean, it looks like a chain devil. It sounds like a chain devil. It's got the glowing eyes of a chain devil and everything. And he's like, evident. But then Bob's voice comes out, you know, like it sounds like him, you know, like the guttural sound. But then when he talks, it's got the same inflection of Bob and like a chain devil voice. He's like, evidently it makes you look like a chain devil. And then he's like, "Ugh, you even smell like a chain devil. I don't know how long it lasts." But then he unbuckles it and he shrinks down to his normal, like eye-to-eye height with Edward. He's like, so I would guess that kind of like a disguise belt. I don't know if you could turn it on and off, but apparently it lets you sneak in like a chain devil. You got all of this off a chain devil, right?
Yes.
Nice.
All
I
right.
don't know
Then.
about you. I personally found those things annoying. Like, they think they're real scary, but they're not.
I'm here or there about them.
I mean, well, I just feel that they think they're a lot tougher than that. I mean, maybe it's just a difference in like what kind of entity you are. Like, maybe they're scary if you're like a person. I don't know. But to me, I just find them silly.
Amongst other devils of their kind, would you maybe say that they're more like the weak link?
I don't know, like lower, like low mid level. I mean, they're stronger than lemures, that's for damn certain, and imps. Less annoying than imps.
Very good.
I mean, like we could go through the list, and he reaches out there and he pulls out another book, and this has got the picture of the weirdest looking creature you've ever seen on it. It's got one eye, and it's looking like it's attacking would you say adventurer on it, and it's got like Monster Manuel on it, and he's like, "Hold on," and he opens it up, flips through it, and he's like, "Yeah, there seems to be." Because he's reading out of the devil section of the monster manual. He's like, "They're like middling."
Do you know someone named Mordekainen?
Holy shit, I do! I do know him. Evidently, he's a wizard that I heard he makes moving pictures now or something.
Strange.
Anyway, I feel we're getting distracted.
Well,
we're just gonna spend this whole episode talking only about stupid ways to bring D&D lore into the game.
Speaking of which, are we wrapping up early today?
Huh?
Are we wrapping up early today?
Yeah, we will be probably in maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, very good.
So he checks that out and he's like, "So what is our next move?"
As far as I know, just continue with this paladin until he shows us where this chain is.
Also, he still owes us money.
No, the priest owes us money, not the paladin.
And you left photos back there.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We have photos there, too. So we have to go back to the town, at least, to get Fodor. But then we're going to go check on the chain. The priest owes us money because contractual obligations from your sale of the potions. And we actually... Did we not discuss payment for this trip to the Sun Tree? Which, I mean, actually... Just to see that was payment in itself.
Shut up.
I wouldn't tell that to the priest.
Oh, I'm not going to say that aloud.
Yeah, no. We have to 100% like deal with absolutes here. Like, remember, Fae agreement with the devil agreement. And then he's like, which brings us back to this grid. And then he starts like talking about
Bob.
What? No. Hold on. So I think you get the pick.
I look at this grid and I just say, this was maybe the worst thing we've ever invented. We should have never done this.
The grid?
Yes, it just complicates matters.
So hold on. So you've got over here where you've got lawful evil, which is, and he's like all excited to explain. And then he's like, I myself and my kind fall within lawful neutral, and we. No,
Yes, this grid was a mistake.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. We could talk more about it if you want. Later.
Please. No. Stop.
Yeah. So, no, he goes through and he's like, yeah. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about? Anything else you think? But I'm very impressed with this.
Mm-hmm. So above the table, I have a note that I have a doorknob with a book and a scroll.
And I wasn't able to identify them at the time.
What do you mean a doorknob, a book, and a scroll?
I said
it says, my note says doorknob with book and scroll. And it was at the same time that I wrote down I had a broken watch face. Maybe we just need to talk about that one for later times. But
the doorknob, the book, and the scroll, isn't that the doorknob that got you into that vampire's lair?
Oh, that's definitely what it was. Thank you. I was just trying to figure out why I had that in my notes as like important.
Yeah, I don't understand what the book and the scroll is. I mean, you should probably have a shitload of scrolls.
I have some.
Oh, you do? You just have some?
Yeah. Oh,
right.
I have a fancy cloak.
Huh?
I also have something about a fancy cloak.
A fancy cloak?
Yeah.
You really need to, keep... I don't know what a fancy cloak is. You've been doing this for a while, so...
Yeah, that was my bad.
Yeah, it's just a fancy cloak now.
Damn it.
I mean, I don't... I mean, not to be mean, but there's so many things you come up with. I'm not going to remember them, and I don't, keep fancy cloaks written down. Do you want... Now, Brian, do you want me to add that stuff to, want me to add the Black Blade dagger and the other stuff, or are you just going to take care of that because you like the paper?
I mean, I have it written down. If you wanted to add it to D&D Beyond, just in case, say for example, I lose a piece of paper or something like that. I mean, I won't argue if that's what you want to do.
No, it's up to you.
Again, I've got it written down at the moment, so I think I'm okay.
Okay. All right, then we'll leave that. They're very simple. It's just but dagger is a normal dagger in all intents and purposes. Everything else is normal. It could be used as a regular dagger. That's its only ability. You can if you could get the attack. All right. He's gonna look at you guys and he's like, maybe you should probably rest a little bit. And go back.
I would agree to that.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay. So yeah, because of time and us not all feeling great, we're gonna wrap it up tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate you guys joining us, and we will be skipping next week's episode of Talk Nerdy because we are behind on the Eberron campaigns, and so if everybody agrees, we will continue the adventure next week.
Yep, we'll still be doing our normal.
Yep. We'll see as they go and they meet Franklin, the Guardian of the Chain, hopefully, and hopefully Fodor has recovered from his food poisoning and Carl can join us for the continuation of their resurgence of the Cult of Pelor. As always, we thank you for joining us.
Yep.
I look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Good night.